Hey, how's it going, music lovers? It's your boy, Mr. Noble, Teacher Noble. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about this unit right here, okay? This is called the Ampero 2 Stomp. And the reason that I got this, because with what happened during the, last couple years, people having to stay at home and everything like that, we weren't booking as many shows. The drummer I was playing with ended up moving to another part of the country, and I just really started to chill on trying to play live for the time being. And so, I was transitioning different jobs, and it was a tough time because people worried about how to make money. But I was lucky enough to become a full-time teacher in that time, where I was going to preschools and stuff like that. And, I'm still doing that, and I was able to continue doing music. And that allowed me to quit all the other jobs I was doing and focus on music more. And so now here I am making videos because I just want to continue being able to do the things that I love, like make music. I love making videos. I love cameras and stuff like that. So it's kind of a beautiful combination of being able to make music, being able to mess around with gear and do all that stuff. And so this Ampero 2 Stomp, this is the reason I initially bought it, okay? Is because I had a bunch of pedals and a pedal board, and I just was looking at all of this stuff one day, and I was like, I just don't want it anymore. I don't want pedals and tons of pedals and pedal board setup. I want one or two really nice things that do a bunch of stuff for me, and if I find a way to make that work, that's what I want. And so I was really kind of, that how us gearheads do. We just go on the internet and we start looking up what kind of gear we want, what kind of things we need. And so I eventually came across the Ampero, and I got the Ampero. I got the Ampero pink one initially, and I loved it. I thought it was a great pedal. I wasn't sure about how the multi-effects would work. I didn't really know what modeling was or amp sims and stuff like that was, so I was very new to that. But the more I started to kind of do research, look at these different people's videos, there's some fantastic people that are making some really great videos on this unit. And the more I started to learn, the more I started to understand kind of what MIDI was too, in terms of how MIDI could affect the ability to change and switch different effects and things like that. The more I started to research on the Ampero, I was like, wow, this is a very, very powerful unit. And so when I got the pink one, it was awesome. I was like, wow, this is great. And what happened ultimately is, because I liked it so much, I started to research the Ampero 2 Stomp. I traded the Ampero pink in for the Ampero 2 Stomp, and here I am with the Stomp now. Now, what makes it so amazing is it's literally, for the $500 that this unit costs, it does so many different things. Now, the first Ampero, it did a lot of different things too, and it had also a drum machine. This does not have a drum machine, which I do kind of lament, because I did like that. But some of the things that it does are quite incredible, like, to me. For one, the versatility. When I say versatility of an Ampero, this Ampero unit, it's really whatever you want it to be. If you want it to be just a multi-effects pedal, it can be that. If, because of its size, it's not super huge. Let me give you a comparison of a regular pedal, of a decent sized pedal. So, I have an old school pedal here I used to use back in the day. Loved this thing. I thought it was a great overdrive. Used to use it in my show days. Dan electro pedal. Now look at the size difference of this with this. It's not that much different. I mean, obviously this one is bigger, but for what the Ampero 2 can do, the size of it, you'll understand, is it's a small footprint, because this can fit on a pedal board, and it can just be one of your pedals. That's a multi-effects unit. It can also, it has a send and return, so you can align out to other effects like time-based effects, delays, and phasers or choruses, whatever, things like that, reverbs. So you've got that. You can add an expression pedal. You can also add a foot switch. Now, why the foot switch is incredible, because that gives you, it's almost like, because this is a multi-effects pedal, you can program those foot switch to do a variety of things, which can turn it into just turning on a new pedal if you want, switching to a different bank, engaging the looper, whatever. I mean, there's so many things that you can start to do. And then, because it has a MIDI, and I'm just starting to understand kind of the benefits of MIDI. The MIDI is, you can use MIDI controllers to also use it like a foot switch. So it's almost like, once you get a foot switch, and I'll show you some of the accessories that I got with it, right? So okay, so with this, with this controller right here, so with this MIDI control right here and this foot switch, right? So this is going to give you extra functionality, and there's an app you can use where you can program what you want these switches to do. And so it's almost like each button can become another pedal, right? Because if you wanted to engage like your distortion or delay, you can do that. If you wanted to engage two pedals at once, you can do that. If you wanted to engage, if you had the other Ampero, the Ampero 1 or the Ampero, you could have it engage the drum loop or the looper or the drum patterns and things like that. So, it can be a multi-effects pedal. If all you wanted to do is use it as a multi-effects pedal with a pedal, like instead of your pedal board, I think the sounds of it are amazing. And then another thing that I just didn't understand was the amp modeling. What the amp modeling does is, if you're running it through an amp, you already have an amp, then you can just run it like a standard pedal that has multi-effects in it. But if you don't, you can run it through a PA, the PA system of your band or whatever, the PA of this venue, and then you can use amp simulations to simulate a type of amp sound, and it comes with a variety of amp sounds. And so I just didn't understand that at the time. And so the more research I did, and the more I started actually messing with it, I was like, wow, this is great, because what it does is, you can either use your amp like a traditional pedal, and this is why I say versatile, because if you don't use it with your amp, you can use it with a PA. So I have this personal PA right here that I just got for using it for vocals, using it for acoustic guitar and singing and stuff, and use it for the band because it can also, this thing can line out to a bigger speaker, and then you get a bigger sound, or it can just line out to the PA, another PA, and so you can have it be powered. And so with this little unit here, because it's 150 watts solid state, it's loud. It's very loud, and it can be loud and clean, which is what I'm always coveting, is high headroom, which is clean, is super clean and loud, which you can get with this. So you can make this dinky little, I don't know whether it's 5.5 inch or 6 inch speaker, sound like obnoxiously loud. And obviously, if it can sound loud, clean, then all the distortion and effects. This sound, it just makes this thing sound like a guitar amp. It makes this thing that was once a PA. If you lined in with this with a guitar, it sounds okay. But if you line in with the Ampero and you start to use the amp sounds with it, this will start to sound like a guitar amp, which is incredible. As opposed to a guitar line through a PA, which is what it sounded like before. And then also, if you're using it with acoustic guitars, you can line in with an acoustic guitar and use there's acoustic sims and there's acoustic IRs, or image responses, which is an image, sound image taken of whatever that thing it's saying, whether it be an amp or an acoustic preamp or something. So my acoustic guitars have never sounded better through that thing. Whether it's, and then again, a versatile, it can play through your PA, that PA system I showed you, it plays through my monitors and sounds like a guitar amp. You know, I can play it through my playback monitors, my studio monitors, and it also sounds like an amp. So you can sit there and noodle on your studio PA, which I do also. So I mean, it's incredible. And then that's not the end of it. It's also an audio interface, and it has eight USB ins and outs, so you can just line in straight from the Ampero straight into the DAW, or using it as the interface, or you can line out the audio and send that to another DAW, you know, an audio interface. You can send that to another audio interface. So I've tried both ways, and you can get great sounds off both. So why that's important is if you are a studio recorder and you're recording in a situation where you have people living with you, then this was a big part, you know, my partner, they you know, have a different sleep schedule than I do. And you know how it is when you're trying to make music. Sometimes the inspiration and the time you're feeling like most energized is when it's quiet, when there's nobody around, when people are sleeping. And so, but that's also a time when it's really hard to make noises and stuff. So when you're able to line in and you really like the sounds that you're getting, it's incredible. Also, the benefit of just not having to mic up guitars when you record, not having to mic up basses or do any extra steps, just makes it amazing, because it takes basses well, it takes acoustic guitars well, it takes electric guitars obviously well. And so between all of those things, and then it has all of the effects, you really, the sky's the limit. It's like there's no limit to what you can really do with this Ampero thing. So I'll try to put out some demos, and you'll kind of get the feel of what you can do. Also, there's an app, Ampero Stomp 2 app, where you can use that to control the Ampero and create patches in it. So it's just an unbelievable tool in terms of, I can't believe I didn't realize this was out before. Now, the competition's another thing, something I was looking at, because I wasn't really sure what I wanted before this. This unit was something I never knew I wanted, you know, because it's so versatile. I was looking at the Cerberus, the NUX Cerberus, which also is an audio interface and has a multi-effects and it has a MIDI, but it's still more of an old school tactile multi-effects tank kind of unit. This is more futuristic in terms of you can use it with software, but the interface is also really amazing. So the interface, you're able to create your patches by doing that also. So my preference is to use it alongside with the computer, because usually I'll be recording with it. And because it's so versatile, I can line out and still have a cool speaker and listen to and sound guitar and jam. But then if it's like, okay, let's get that take on into Ableton or something, I'm already lined in, so I can send the signal, because there's stereo ins and stereo outs. So it can just kind of do. I haven't thought of a thing that it can't do. It's far exceeded my expectations. So I'm going to try to start releasing material where I'm just showing you the sounds of the effects and things. And again, if you have any, and what I want people to do is get in the comment section and ask me any sound that you want to see me make. So if you want to hear what it sounds like through the PA, I'll make a video about how it sounds like through the PA. You want to hear what it sounds like through my Quilter amp, I'll do it through the Quilter amp. You want to hear what it sounds like through the studio PAs, I'll play all three samples. I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to, like, there's already some really amazing videos out about of people playing and showing you how cool the sounds are, but I kind of just wanted to talk about like the actual options of this and why I bought it, because sometimes when you're not updated on technology, you didn't even know these things existed. I didn't know what modeling was. It's like when the people who make these videos, they already tend to know what modeling is and if it's right for them, and like, but for a lot of us who don't, we're just kind of old school and set in our ways. We don't necessarily know that these things are available to us, and so it's almost like this. Finding this Ampero 2 Stomp was kind of revelatory, where it's on right now, and I'm gonna plug it in and probably start having some fun on it, because I haven't played it in a day or two, and it's really I want to hear it through the quilter because it sounds amazing. And so, but it sounds amazing through everything. I put my headphones on and it sounds amazing. And so anyway, I highly recommend this piece of equipment just to check it out. I got mine online, and it was $500, but it's more than worth it if you have the money, if you're in the budget for that kind of unit, because it's comparing it to like the Helix. You're comparing it to the Helix HX Stomp. Moore makes one, the GE series, the G like 300, things like that, yeah, it's amazing. So I would look into amp modeling and amp modelers and just kind of take a look and see if that might be something that is for you. Thank you for watching. Again, leave a comment in the comment section if you want to hear any sounds, or if you have any modelers that you use that you think are pretty good. I definitely like to know what kind of modelers people are using, because again, I'm new to it. I'm old school. I started playing guitar in the 90s, mid 90s and stuff, mid to late 90s. So this stuff is blowing my mind right now, and I think it's amazing technology.